All right, welcome back, sixth graders. Let's go ahead and get this homework going. We're going to start off with your code word this time instead of waiting till the end. How about that? Your code word for tonight is going to be all right, there you go. That's your code word for tonight. Go ahead and write that down. You'll be entitled for a treat when you come in. All right, I'm going to erase it now for any of the people that try to go ahead and fast forward, of course. And let's go ahead and get some work done. I've got all the odd ones tonight by the looks of it. We have W minus 3.2 equals 5.6. We know that to get rid of a negative 3.2, and that's what we need to do because we want to isolate our variable. We want to get W on one side and all the numbers over here. So we have to bring this negative 3.2 to the other side, the opposite side. And to do that, we do the opposite of what we see. Since we see that we're at or subtracting 3.2, we're going to add 3.2. And whatever I add to one side of an equation, I add to the other side of the equation because I've got to be fair. And now I have 5.6 plus 3.2. I add those together, 5.6 and 3.2. I've got to line up my decimals. 6 plus 2 is 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. So my answer must be W equals 8.8. All right, I'm going to go to number 17. Number 16 was yours to do. Number 17 has 48.55 plus K equals 61.77. Remember, I need to get all of the numbers away from the variable. So I see that right now I have a positive 48.5 or 55. I know it's positive because there's not a negative in front of it. And whenever there's not a negative or a positive sign, I can assume this is positive. So to get rid of a positive 48.5, I'm going to subtract 48.5. I'm sorry, 48.55. And remember, whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do the other side of the equal sign. It's only fair. That's the only way to keep an equation balanced. Now I have 61.77 minus 48. Once again, I'm going to line up my decimals. The rule is if my signs are different, I find the difference. That's the answer to a subtraction problem, which means I'm going to take the big number minus the small number. That's going to be a 2. That's going to be a 2. We'll have to borrow one here. 8, 9, 10, 11, so that'll be 3. And 5 minus 4 is 1. The answer has to be, well, we keep the sign with a bigger number, and that was positive. So 13.22. All right, let's go ahead and move on to number 19 now. Number 19 says 7 and 1/9 equals 4 or 2 and 4/5 plus m. Once again, we've got to get m by itself, so we're going to move all of the numbers to this side. You've gotten used to taking things over here and putting it over here, but remember, it's not about bringing everything to the right. It's about getting this letter by itself, which means wherever the letter is, everything else has to go to the other side. So the only way to get rid of a positive 2 and 4/5 is to subtract 2 and 4/5. But remember, whenever I do to one side of an equation, I have to do the other. So my m comes down. Well, anything minus itself is 0. I'm not going to put 0 down there. It's pointless. And now I have to find a way to subtract 2 and 4/5 from this side. Now you might want to go ahead and start right away, but remember, we have to get a common denominator when we're dealing with fractions. So what's a common denominator of 9 and 5? We all know that's going to be 45. I'm going to rewrite this over here so we can see it a little better. We got 7 and 1/9. We're subtracting 2 and 4/5. We know that we have to get the bottom numbers the same. So I'm going to subtract 9 to 5 and 5 to 9 because we know that this will give me 45 and this will give me 45. So we know these are both going to turn to 45 on the bottom, right? All right. And now remember what I multiplied to the bottom over here. I'm going to have to multiply to the top. And the same over here. Well, I know 1 times 5 is 5. I know that 4 times 9 is 36. And this had a 7 in front of it, and this had a 2 in front of it. That can't change, and there was a subtraction sign. So now I've rewritten these fractions to where they're the same ratio, okay? So now I can go ahead and subtract, but I realize here that 5, I can't subtract 36 from 5, can I? So I'm going to have to go around the world with this, all right? I'm going to have to take 45 times 7 and add it to 5, all right? We're just going to go ahead and do that with our calculator. 45 times 7 is 315. So this is going to turn to, well, actually that's 45 times 7, right? That's 315. And then we have to add 5 to that, right? And that's going to give us 320. So now this is going to become 320 over 45. All right, now we got to do this other one. 2 times 45 isn't that hard. That's only 90. But 90 plus 36 will take a little work. That's going to be 126. So that turns to 126 minus 45. Now we see we have 320 over 45 minus 126 over 45. But we know that 45 is going to stay the same. Now it's time to go ahead and subtract the small number from the big number. All right, I'm going to bring it over. Let's see, I'll bring it over here. 320 minus 126. And let's see, that's going to have to borrow one here, which will leave this 1. I'll have to borrow one from here, which will make this 9. And I have to bring that there, so that's going to bring this to 4. So 194 over 45 will be the fraction that I have over here. But remember, every fraction is a division problem. All right, so 194 divided by 45 is our last bit of work. I know that this is going to go into this. I'm going to just go ahead on, because I know that 5 won't go into 4 evenly. So that's going to tell me this is almost 50 and this is almost 200. So I'm going to try multiplying this to, I would multiply it to, well, why not try? I'm going to multiply it to 4. Okay, and see what happens here. see that 5 times 4 is 20. This is 16, 7, 18, 18. So this is 180. And 194 minus 180 is going to give me 14. So the answer to this, what is 194 over 45, will be 4. And 4 over 14. Oh, I'm sorry. And 14 over 45. My apologies. 14 over 45. All right, that was a lot of work. So I'm going to erase this stuff here because I need to get to the next problem, and we're going to need some room for that. By the way, just so everyone understands, this was the answer right here. Okay. There we go. Now I'm doing number 21. It says 1/8 times y equals 4. All right, to do this one, remember, I need all the numbers to go on the other side of the equal sign and leave this letter alone. How can I get rid of 1 over 8? That's a fraction, and I know every fraction is a division problem. So even though it's being multiplied to y, I can divide this away if I wanted to, right? I could say I'm multiplying, so I'm going to divide it by 1/8. But here's what happens when I divide by 1/8. I have a fraction divided by a fraction. And to solve that, I'll have to use KCF, or KFC as I teach it in my class. And to do that, that means the second one, I'll have to take this and multiply it to the inverse, which is flipping 1 over 8 to 8 over 1. So I'm going to do this just a little bit different. I'm going to multiply 1 over 8 to 8 over 1. But remember, whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. So I'll have to multiply 8 over 1, 4. Well, as you could tell, the butterfly method gets rid of all this, and now y is left by itself. And 4 times 8, well, that's 32, and 32 divided by 1, that's still 32. So 21 will be 32. All right. All right, let's get to our next one. That'll be number 23 for me. Mr. Marlin buys 3 tickets for his family to visit the water park. The total cost is $210. Write and solve an equation to find the cost of each ticket. All right, remember the total cost for this trip was water park was $210, and Marlin buys 3 tickets for his family. Mr. Marlin buys 3 tickets for his family. So we got 1, 2. Would we say that we have 3 tickets, or would we say we have 4? If you read this carefully, by stating that he buys these tickets for his family, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 tickets. We know there's 4 times t, the cost of the ticket, equals $210. Right? We've got to get 4 away from t to get t by itself. 4 is being multiplied to t, so to get rid of it, I will divide it by 4. Whatever I divide from one side, I divide from the other, and so I'm going to take 210 and divide it by 4. 4 over 4 is 1, so now I have t by itself. But 210 divided by 4, that's a different number. I know that 4 will go into 21 or to 21 5 times, because 5 times 4 is 20. I know that'll leave me 10, and 4 goes into 10 2 times. And when I put my decimal here, I know that I can add a 0, and 4 goes into 20. Again, 5 times. So my answer should be 52.50. Remember, we're talking money though. So this must be that each ticket is $52.50. All right, let's move on to number 25. A high school team, track team, long jump record is 21 feet. Okay, 2 1/4 inch. So it's 21 feet and 2 1/4 inch this year. Tim's best long jump is 20 feet, 9 1/2 inches. If long jumps are measured to the nearest 1/4 inch, okay, 1/4 inch, how much farther must Tim jump to break the record? All right. Well, this tells me, remember, a high school, the team's long jump record is going to be 21, right? 21 feet uh, and 1/4 and 1/4 inches. Well, let's think how many inches are in a foot. Okay, we know there's 12 inches in 1 foot, so we're going to have to multiply 21 times 12. Let's see here. Now, there are really 2 ways to do this. I'm going to show you this one way. I'll probably try to show you both, but we got 21 times 12. That's going to, and I'm going to bring this work over here because I'm not working this problem. It's going to give me some room. 21 times 12. That's going to be 42 and 12. There's 0 there. So that's going to be 162. So now we know we have 162 inches and 21 feet. And then we're adding 2, right? So that's going to give us a total of 164. Does everyone see we took the 21 inches, multiplied it to 12. Sorry, 21 feet, multiplied it to 12, because there's 12 inches in a foot. Once we got our answers, we added 2, because it said over here 21 feet and 2 inches. So adding 2 more inches, that's going to make 164 inches. All right. I'm just going to erase this over here. Again. And 1/4 inch. Okay. And now we've got, let's see, says this year Tim's best long jump is 20 feet and 9 1/2. So let's see, this is going to be, they're asking for how much farther. So you're going to have to minus how much farther we're going to have to jump, right? Actually, there's another way to do this, probably a little better. You can put this equal to 20 feet and 9 1/2 inches of distance, right? Plus t, or actually plus inches, I guess, because they're asking for how many more. Well, maybe we'll just put d for distance, right? And now I got to find out what are 20 feet. Well, 20 times 12. 20 times 12, let's see here. It shouldn't be too much different than what we had a second ago. This time we're going to have 40. And this time we'll have okay, I messed up over here. I'm going to have to fix it. I just realized I did something really stupid. So glad I caught it before I moved on. Wish I would have caught it a little bit earlier. When we took 21 feet, let's make it a little better here, and we multiplied it to 12, I accidentally put 12 instead of 21. So let's do this correctly here. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. And 2 times 1 is 2. And that would actually give us 252. That's a big difference. And now we will add 2. All right, when we add the 2 here, that's going to make 254. So that's a big difference. That's going to be 254. I'll be honest with you, I hate doing it this way. But I'm not sure that you guys have been taught a different way yet on how to solve these, so I'm going to go ahead and do it the way that I think you were taught. And that's 254 and 1/4 inch. All right, and then over here, let's see, we've got 20 and 9 1/2 inch. So that's going to be 20 times 12, because there's 12 inches in every one of these feet. And that's going to give us, I believe it's just going to leave us with, let's see, 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 2 is 4. And we have 20 instead of 21 coming down here. Now it's going to leave us with 240. And now because we have 9 extra inches, we'll have to add 9 to this. That'll leave 249. All right, so now we're going to be, this is going to be equal to 249 inches and 1/2. And remember, we need to figure out how much farther, so plus d, we'll say, for the extra distance. Now we know in order to get to subtract fractions, we need a common denominator. So this denominator is going to have to be a 4, because we know that 2 times 2 is 4. And that means we're going to have to multiply 2 to the top as well. So let's go ahead and rewrite this. This is going to give us 254 and 1/4. This is going to be equal to 249. And 1 times 2 is 2. And 2 times 2 is 4. And then we're going to add d. All right. Now, in order to get d by itself, we're going to have to take this 249 and 2/4 and take it to the other side, which means we're going to have to subtract 249 and 2/4. And whatever I subtract from one side, I'll subtract from the other. All right, now I see that I can't subtract 2 from 1. So I'm going to have to borrow one of these up here. All right. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this technique. I'm going to show you what I'm doing right here with these numbers. Okay, this is what I'm working with right now. And I'm going to bring it over here now and erase this work so you can get a good view of what's happening. I know that I have 254 and 1/4. It's that 1/4 is not big enough to subtract from. So I'm going to borrow one of these. Okay, I'm going to borrow one from here and turn this into 253. Now, when I do this, you're going to see that, excuse me, this 1/4 here, uh, I'm going to, that allows me to take one of these, which is 4, and add it up here. So it's going to become 5/4. Now notice, because I took one from here, I'm taking a whole number. Okay, that's like adding one whole one, right? Because I subtracted one here, right? So it's like taking this and adding it to 4/4. Okay, because any number over itself is 1. So 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, now I can subtract it from negative to 49 and 2/4 because 5 is bigger than 2. So 5 minus 2 is 3, so this is going to be 3/4. And let's see, now we have to do the rest of this. I know I have to borrow one from here to make this 4. And I'll have to go ahead and add one there. 13 minus 9 will give me 4. That means I'm going to need 4 3/4. And they did say how much to the 1/4 inch. This is a 1/4 inch showing here. So the answer to this problem would be 4 3/4. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to, this is my final answer here. And I'm going to highlight in green just so you know that's the answer for number 25. Now remember, this answer is what he would have to do to match it. Okay, that means that this answer tells you what where Tim need. I'm sorry about that. What Tim would have to do in order to go ahead and match the long-term record. But remember, he's trying to break it, right? To break the record, which means he's going to have to go farther. So since we're measuring everything to the nearest 1/4 inch, he's going to have to add a 1/4 inch to go ahead and do that. So let's see, 4 3/4 of an inch plus 1/4 of an inch. Well, that's going to give him 4 4/4. And remember, any number over itself is 1. So 4/4 is 1. That's going to turn this to 5. So this equals 5. He needs to go ahead and jump 5 inches if he's going to break that record. Final answer here, I'm going to put in yellow. And I'll tell you what, I'll just put it in blue to make it different than the rest of them. This is your final answer. All right, let's go ahead and go to number 27. That was a hard one. In this situation, b times 5/6 equals 25, greater than or less than 25. Is this solution bigger or less than 25? How can you tell before computing? I'm going to say that it has to be greater than 25. And here's why. To get rid of 5/6, I have to multiply it to its inverse, which would be 6/5, right? So this is going to be b times 5/6, and then we're going to be multiplying that to 6/5 to get rid of it. 6/5 is bigger than 1. We know this because 6 on top is bigger than 5. It's an improper fraction. So that means, though it will get rid of everything here, I have to remember when I multiply it to 25 on this side, I will actually be multiplying it to a number that's bigger than 1. So this would be 25 times 6, which is 150. Over 5. And remember, every fraction is a division problem. So now we have to take 150 and divide it by 5. Well, we know 15 divided by 5 is 3, so that means B is equal to 30. And that's how I knew it was going to be bigger than 25. Number 29 is next. And I think it's, oh, no, it's not my last one. Helen is filling a pool. And I see, did we do a code word at the beginning of this? I think we did. Helen is filling a pool shown for her little brother. She can carry 1 7/8 gallon of water. Hold on 1 second, please. Sorry about that. Let's get back to this number 29. It says, Helen is filling a pool shown for her little brother. She can carry 1 7/8 gallon of water each trip. Write and solve an equation and find how many trips Helen needs to make. Well, this would mean that she's got 1 7/8 gallon, right, that she can carry. That's going to be multiplied to the number of trips that she takes, and that has to equal 10 1/2. We're going to have to turn these numbers into improper fractions to start off with. 8 times 1 is 8, and 8 plus 7 is 15. So this will become 15 over 8. And of course, we're multiplying that to t. When I turn this one into an improper fraction, I have 2 times 10, which is going to give us 20, and 20 plus 1, that's 21. So this would be 21 over 2. Next, I have to remember that to get rid of 15 over 8, when I'm multiplying it, I'll have to divide it by the inverse, which is 8 over 15. Whatever I multiply to one side of an equation, I'll multiply to the other. All right, and now that we have 8 over here and 8 over here and 15 over here, we know that when I multiply 8 times 15, 15 times 8, I'll get the same number. So this will become 1, which means I'll have 1t left over. And now I've got to go ahead and multiply these together. I know that 2 goes into 8. So I can say 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now I have 2 times 4, which is 8. And 1 times 15, which is 15. So that's going to leave me with t equals 8 over 15. Oh, I made a big mistake. I'm sorry. This is 21. And I'm glad I looked at that again. Okay, let's fix that. All right, and this was a 2. We're still going to be able to take the 2 and turn it into 1. But now we got 21 times 4, and that's a big difference. That's going to give us 84 over 15. And now we can say that we know this is a division problem. 84 divided by 15. Let's look at the question carefully. It's saying, write and solve an equation to find how many trips Helen needs to make to fill this, right? She's filling the pool. So we need to get it to 10 1/2. How many trips will it take to get there? All right, so 15 will go into 84 how many times? I know 15 times 2 is 30. So we're not going to be able to go ahead and multiply it to 6, because we know that would be 90. So we're going to be multiplying it to 5. 5 times 5 is 25. And 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2 makes 7, so that'd be 75. This will leave us 9. Now, unfortunately, this means the pool won't be filled with just 5 buckets. we're going to have to make another trip because we need, right, we're going to need 5 and 9 over 15. So that means she will need to make 6 trips. So just type this out. She will need to make 6 trips to fill the pool. All right, and that should be it for that one. Let's get to our last one, or the last one for me anyways. It says Grace solved the equation 2.5y equals 5 over 8. Her steps for the solution are shown in the table but are mixed up. Write her steps in the correct order on the right side of the table. All right. I know that I have 2 and 1/2 y equals 5 over 8. That tells me that the first one is going to be the right one. So I'm going to go with 2 and 1/2 y equals 5 over 8. All right, my next step would be to turn these into improper fractions. I would say 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. So I would turn this to 5 over 2. And then make this a y. Or not make it a y, it's already a y, isn't it? And then I would put that equal to 5/8, or 5 over 8. All right. Now the next thing would be to multiply. Well, I guess the next step then would be right here, right? 5 over 2 y equals 5 over 8. The next step, of course, would be to multiply the inverse. So that means I'm going to multiply 5 over 2 to 2 over 5. Whatever I multiply to one side, I have to multiply to the other side. So that would make me taking this one and turning it in to 2 over 5 as well. Once I've multiplied these two together, they're going to cancel each other out and leave y, which would leave y equals 5 over 8 times 2 over 5. And that's what we have down here. Y equals 5 over 8 times 2 over 5. And then the last one, of course, we'd have, well, 5 times 2 equals 10. And 8 times 5 is 40. That's a possible answer. But remember, we like our answers to be reduced. So I would say a more appropriate answer would be to divide both of these by 10. Which will give us 10 divided by 10 is 1, 40 divided by 10 is 4, so or 1/4. All right, and that's all mine. You have all the rest. That took quite a while. Thanks for hanging in there with me, and I will see you on the next one. Look free in class.